towards third base. Yeah.
So Peterson issues his second walk, and now there are 2 aboard for grounded out to third base his first time up, and it takes a slider for a strike. 0-1. And he's quickly ahead on Jimenez to stack right-handers against him. It's a little different when the Mets have Sean Manaea.
Manaea had
a swing and a miss. He tied him up with a sinker inside, and Peterson gets himself out of trouble with his saving stones with Armor Tech. Your outdoor dreams come true. By Coors Light, choose chill. And by Harris, Keenan, and Goldfarb, if you Francis in a scoreless game. Sanger started last night, went 0 for 2. And he takes a fastball up and in for ball 1. Last week in Miami.
A shocking resemblance.
It's kids' opening day. The kid
would be Giacometti's.
You know, Steve Cohen is partial to his Giacometti's.
Yes, he is.
Has a strike 3-1 to Sanger with 2 hits. Francis making his second start, beat the Nats his first time out with 6
energy, just a fluid motion.
So controlled.
3-2 coming. And he missed inside both Door and Soto. That's his first walk of the day. He's also hit a batter.
That's great.
Oh, nice hook.
I like how they come up. 3 for 6 now in this series. After a rough beginning to the year.
12 paces.
That's pulled just foul. And Francis goes to that splitter to strike out Lindor.
Nice pitch.
That's his third strike.
0 times. It was on the last day of extended spring that the international scouting director came up to him and said, hey, you're a great hitter, but if you that he actually walked. But from then on out, everything that Soto did was to make sure that he knew the strike zone.
Years later, he was in the big league.
That's correct.
Pops this one up.
You're starting out. For him to learn it as a teenager, almost an adult.
Yeah, it's accurate. He said he may have overstated free swinger. He was a free swinger in the zone, but he always had to be swinging at. He should be driving, and that's what he did. So
in that lower, those minor league classifications he was in.
And he takes a walk here. So
Soto is when he was sent to Double-A. He had this, and he wasn't.
Yeah, and he told his teammates, hitting's easy. Singer at second, Soto at first. Not a lot of speed out there. And a first pitch splitter drops in. He gets out of the way of that one.
He's pitching inside.
He hits it hard past the diving Bichette into left center. Singer being waved around third. He'll score the first run of the game. Soto goes to.
Well, curveball. Pete staying in.
He was a bullet.
Yeah, I just hit it too hard.
Plays in front of Soto. He knows that he doesn't need a bad omen.
Now here's Nimmo. And he socks one out to left field. Over toward the line comes Schneider, tagging third Soto. He'll trot down the line to. So the Mets cash in both the walks here in the third inning. And they've got themselves. Now 2 out and a runner at first, and Jesse Winker comes up. Winker popped up his first time up. And he takes curveball. And according to the stat that I saw, the old
For the Bahamas or something like that. One of the islands.
His wife's name was Mrs. Christopher.
No, you're thinking of Choo-Choo Cole. The early day Mets went on Kiner's corner, and Ralph Kiner said he was having trouble getting any Coleman, and she likes me. Bub. 2-0 Mets after 3-0 lead. Alejandro Kirk leads off for Toronto. On the scoreboard against the Islanders. Fly ball hit to center field, and Siri is there waiting for it. What did you tell me that if you take away all...
Get the moniker Great One for nothing. It's apples and oranges because of the positions. You know, Orr was a defenseman, but Orr was the first defense, and they were down by a goal, and he would start chugging up.
Ernie Clement walked his first time up and takes a changeup outside, 2-1.
I believe
it was on the golf course once with him, and it's the first time I had ever met him. And anyone who grew up in my part of this to meet him, and anyone's ever met him, he's the sweetest guy.
963 assists.
wow, that's unbelievable.
So yeah,
Total
goals plus assists, crazy. And it's up and away ball full.
It's one of those games where his stuff is not as good as it was, and Miami
chased than the Marlins. And David Schneider takes another curveball. This one's hit to third. Vientos to second for one. Beatty on to first. In time, double play from pitching in a game for the Mets. Starters have a 2.45 ERA coming into the day, and the bullpen's been even better. Christopher hailed from the U.S. Virgin Islands.
Okay.
He had a great year for homers, 76 driven in.
Nice.
For a ball inside. You know, that's for a team that didn't. 2-1 to Vientos. And Mark takes fastball right down the butt. It's a series for the Mets in the fourth against Bowden Francis, who walked a couple in the third and paid for it.
In the second inning, his first at bat, he got a blind drive base hit. Do you, with 2 strikes, did I look for a secondary pitch?
Brett Beatty struck out his first time up, and he chases a splitter and fouls it off, and it's not. And Castellanos just at a grand. It's the first time since divisional play began in 1969. Fly ball hit to left, and on comes Schneider. And you know, the team that what they consider to be the best pitching prospect they have ever had.
Wow.
Chase Dolan in 2023. Seth Halverson, who's a key member of that Rockies bullpen, was also on that tennis. It's a big story because it's impossible to get a free agent pitcher. We'll say Siri chases a curveball, and it's 1-2. View Billy Swift.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking of. Yes.
Watch the motion. It just gives you lots of motion with that split shake.
And Siri lifts one out to right. Santander coming on and slides to make the catch. And that retires the side.
Mets on top as we head back to the 5th inning here in Queens. David Peterson, back after his hip surgery, was the slider, which had always been his bread and butter pitch. He called it Meyer had to think about throwing the slider before in his life, as he gives up a base hit to lead off the 5th, rounding first and heading on into second. By the end of the season, he just kind of went back to basics, trusted the grip, and for some reason, it just went away, and you had to work to get it back.
Yeah, it's a pretty scary thing. It's almost like innate second nature to do it. But he chose the right choice. What you have, rip it and rip it each and every time, and it'll come back. But sometimes it takes longer than you think.
What is it that makes it go away, and what is it that makes it come back?
Your eye, it's breaking more to the hitter's eye. He can see it better.
Yes, thank you.
I was pitching against, let's say, Mike Schmidt in the day. I might throw a first pitch breaking ball that starts right at his shoulder, Schmidt, because he'd cover it. But he might give you the first one because it's spinning and he doesn't.
I'll be willing to go 0-1.
Do on him. That's strike 3. It's
on. And he struck him out. Went to the changeup to get him. Now the third time around the batting order for Peterson, facing Bo Bichette. Heineman at second after a leadoff double. And Bichette pulls one just foul.
But Bichette is a really savvy hitter, so he might look in this third.
You're going in, get it in.
Ground ball to short. Runner will advance, but Lindor throws out Bichette for the second out. Well, we saw how good Bichette is at getting those hands in. He hit a arrow. It was grounded out and flied out, and that one way inside. And Sanger did well. The time through 244. So much like McGill, when he got to that third time, he was good with it. Comes to that.
Well, McGill was like that as well when he gave those numbers the other day. I would be very careful right now, so be careful in the strike zone with secondary pitches.
For his shoulder, his back shoulder, but watch when he goes.
Just like that.
Yaz was the guy that can hold his hands up that high and hit like he did.
Reggie.
Peterson has struck out 3 today.
It sucks. And Yaz was still playing, and he was around the
2-2. Well, I think Carly Yastrzemski grew up in Southampton back when it was
a lot of potato farms. You got that right.
Backdoor breaking ball misses for ball 4, and Guerrero might be hurt. He's wandering off the back of the map.
This is 2 pitches ago. Base.
I wonder if that's his back.
Your first inclination is to tough it out, and usually the trainers just walk you off the field.
Along with Jeremy Hefner and Carlos Mendoza to see whether Peterson.
Maybe a back. Well, a back spasm could be something that you could pitch through.
But some of them go away in minutes. Coming out of the game.
No, I think he's staying.
Yeah. Okay.
Back out in the 6th.
Oh no, he's a very dangerous hitter coming up in Santander, who was due. 2 out, tying runs on base for Santander. And the first pitch.
Right? To me, he wants to get this out, and that's going to be it.
Like
Santander takes fastball up with the 4 walks today. Tries to change up and misses, and he's just
play here. Hope for it's hit somebody.
Tries the curveball, and that's weird pitcher ailing. And it's ball 4 to Son,
which gives Max Kranick more time to get ready. So if they
because it was because of injury, so this is not a second visit. There was a warm-up pitch, and then the quality of the pitches that he just threw to Santander.
Where the soreness is at, though. So if it's an area where
it's 2 times, a ground out and a strikeout. Bases loaded, 2 down, and he hits him with a pitch, and that's going to force in the first Toronto run. And now they're going to take Peterson out of the game. Peterson did not allow him to finish off this 5th inning out in a 1-run game. Called to the bullpen, brought to you by Corey. Comes into a bases loaded miss here with 2 out, and misses with his first pitch to Alejandro. Get an out situation here to try to protect the lead. And Kirk takes fastball away to Kirk, and Kranick's, and Kirk pops one up in foul ground. Alonso and Senger looking for it, and Senger's got it. Done a great job of scoring in David Peterson's starts. Peterson's not in line for a win. Aiden Senger drew a leadoff walk in the 3rd and came around to score the first Met run. Batting order in the 5th with Lindor and Soto to follow. And Senger lights a base hit into left field. So Hayden Senger making his 2nd straight.
First pitch fastball in. Yeah.
Haven't had that yet.
Sounds like a winner.
Here's Francisco Lindor, who has singled and struck out 1 for 2. So this is an interesting defensive formation.
Same kind of formation on Soto on the double play ball that he turned.
What was that?
Had an itch.
Lindor fouls off a foul. Center. Funny thing about that game when he had a no-hitter into the 9th. A good.
Lindor was a little out front.
And nobody out. 2-2 coming. And he lays off the splitter, and now it's a full.
Important pitch. He's lucky. He's one of those guys that can throw any pitch on any count.
2 count with nobody out. And he hits a comebacker, but it goes past the mound right to Bichette, who turns the 6-6-3 double play. And Francis gets his 2nd double play grounder of the day. 2 out.
Crowds.
Even the best.
6th to face Ernie Clement. And Clement in 2/3, struck out 3. It's driven out to center, but Sears right there waiting for it. 1 out. By Bet365, whatever Spectrum. Now Alan Roden and walk, 2 for 3. Takes the curveball. Came out of Creighton University. Gibson.
There you go.
He did some color.
How was he?
He was fantastic, as you might expect. I mean,
Cincinnati, right?
and David Busher was a baseball player before he was a basketball player. And Roden tops one, and Kranick is on it. High throw and a line.
Well, there's no water on the grass. Last night I was stunned at how.
It's Tyler Heineman. Turns around about left-handed. Curveball yanked foul.
Hard slider off that fastball, and the curveball. When
He resisted it at first, but certainly settling in nicely to the roll, and he blows a fastball. Got the Marlins coming in tomorrow. Probable starters for the series, brought to you by Mets Jet West for their first ever trip to Sacramento.
the Athletics, a team he's faced many times.
Bowden Frank after pinch hitting for Davis Schneider. Alonso drove in the first run with a base hit, and then Nimmo a sacrifice fly, and those
Give up 17 home runs.
Including 2. It's less than 2 per 9 innings last year. It's behind out Alonso 3-1. And he get Bowden Francis today. And Alonso rifles one foul into the netting.
I'm still, and I understand.
Chad Green, who's yet to work in this series, up in the Toronto pen. And Alonso lines a base hit to left, so Pete's on base for the 3rd straight time.
Well, a little bit towards the end of the bat.
4th time in 6 with Francis before they face Nimmo. Each time. On Monday it was Mason Fluharty, and then last night in the 2 games. Nimmo delivered a sacrifice fly to drive in a run in the 3rd. And another splitter below the strike. 2-0. And Brandon lays off. It's in for a strike. And Nimmo muscles one into right field for a base hit. So a line
Pitches over, goes to the fastball. Nimmo up to it. Didn't get it.
So the Mets with a chance to add to their lead. Struggled last night until Winker came through. They've been 0 for 10 to that point. On the
Fastball here.
And Winker takes a curveball for a strike as he bluffed a bunt first. Clement playing a step behind the bag at 3rd. And Winker tops one foul. Jesse Winker, your National League leader in sneaky fast.
Stealth.
0-2 coming. Makes you wonder whether Francis is running out of gas.
I think this is his last hitter because he's
Second, Nimmo at first with nobody out. And Winker fouls back the fastball. Who has a lot of life on his fastball up in the zone.
he throws so much.
And Winker takes a splitter down.